Commentators eagerly anticipate Frosties and Baconator fries, while others emphasize the importance of drug testing.
Oh, I agree.
Welcome to the show. This the group chat sound. Down the bayou where the light shine proud. Go to Meadow the roast. Thibodeau fight.
What's up? Hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday. It is the Group Chat Podcast coming to you live here from our ManCave studios. I am Casey Gisclair. We're joined by Nick Hebert, Damien St. Pierre. We have got a turtle that is on the way, and he'll be joining us a little bit later on in the show. We got a fun show coming your way today. Excited to be here on this Wednesday, and we've got a lot to talk about. We got a full agenda. We got some calling guests, and we got some different things planned throughout the course of the show. And tonight on our Buzz Off call-in line, we've got Alan Wiltz of Raceland Middle School. I know he's fired up. They're 2-0. They beat up on E.D. White last night. Lopsided win. Didn't see that coming. Big old win for them. And by the way, we could talk wrestling with him because he is very well versed.
I didn't realize how big of a fan he was of our show.
Oh, yeah.
I sent him the link. I said, look, Coach, we're trying to do some middle school coverage.
He knows.
And he said, you don't need to send me that. I was like, thanks.
Let's talk about the LSU Tigers, because I know Damien's ready to yell and scream and bitch and complain and talk about how the LSU offense is awful. Brian Kelly elaborated a little bit this week, maybe appeased some people, or I don't know, maybe he's just making excuses. I don't know. But LSU does get the win against Florida. Defense gets 5 interceptions. What was the score, 20-10?
20-10.
20-10, okay. So LSU gets the win there.
You want to pull up the quote from BK? We got about a minute long quote.
Oh, all right.
What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. It's one game. LSU won the football game. I don't know what you want from me. You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy? There's a ridiculous questions, and I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You're spoiled. Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous.
Okay, I'm jaded, okay? Because I know y'all are going to over Brian Kelly. I'm jaded because I know the reporter who asked the question. That dude is in an extra small shirt when he should be in a 3X, and I'll leave it at that. So I think the reporter was trying to fish for something. Brian Kelly wasn't having it. I actually like that he showed a little personality, but now as y'all turn, the floor is yours all over the LSU offense.
I'm going to say, as stupid as this sounds, if Coach O would have done that exact thing,
thank you,
I would have been, yeah, get him. But because Brian Kelly's just such a Brian Kelly, like, no, man, that's unprofessional. There's no place for that. Like, you got to be better. Like, I don't like the way, I like his thought. I don't like the way he attacked the reporter, who I don't know about his shirt size or appearance or whatever.
There's nobody in the state of Louisiana that would have asked Coach O that question, because you have the possibility of getting your ass kicked.
That's
Coach
an excellent point too.
Coach O wouldn't have needed to answer that question because he would be running an offense and he would be airing it out and he would be getting points on offense.
Look, dude, let's not pretend like that whole Coach O era was dynamite.
I stopped watching for 2 years after 2019.
I was about to say, we lost to Troy. The last couple of years were terrible. Like, come on.
So Brian Kelly is basically saying that he wants his offense to do just enough to win. If you win, stop complaining. We got to win.
Listen, I'm the biggest hater on this panel, and I enjoy that title. I get what he's saying. He's got a stud defense, and he understands that that's why he's winning. I have gone into stupid research on this, and I haven't changed my tune, but I almost understand.
Yeah.
He was on a couple press conferences this week talking about him personally taking responsibility for handcuffing Joe Sloan.
Yep.
Do I feel bad for making a Joe Sloan Vanilla Offense shirt? Absolutely not. Because you got to have some balls.
Yep.
He's trying to rely on his defense. But how long can you expect that defense to do what they're doing? The time of possession, I believe, was 37 minutes to 22 minutes. We managed 10 first downs, 7 punts. Punter was the MVP.
13 points on offense.
5 touchdowns in 3 games.
I really believe, and look, maybe this will blow up in my face. I really think, and you said it first before it even became public, I think they got the pacifier in the offense's mouth because of Nussmeier's injury. I think that they're just trying to not further injure him. I think they are trying to just play punt fest, field position, let the defense win it. Kelly said this week, Nussmeier is limited. It's not an ankle like we thought. It's a torso injury that he apparently sustained an injury in the Clemson game or maybe early Louisiana Tech. And I think they are trying to babyfy the offense until they feel like they could actually run offense. And against Florida, where Lagway was going to just throw interceptions over and over again, I'm okay trying to not lose the game on offense. I'm okay with that. But I do also understand that you can't win the national championship 20-10 every game. You at some point are going to need to score.
My frustration with this, yes, I understand the Ravens won a freaking Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer at quarterback, right? I understand it, but it's frustrating because it's almost like we have 3 plays and we don't even try. There's so much speed on offense, and you saw it late in the game, even with the tight end on that long pass. And give me some slants. Give me something easy to throw that won't hurt Nuss's stomach. Don't hurt my stomach. We talked about that injury, and we keep talking about it. Now it's saying as a torso. He's beat up. Early in the season, there were 2 different practices that the media was let in on. You know how many times Nussmeier threw in those practices?
0.
None.
0. Oh, bro, he's on a pitch count. Oh, bro, he's beat up. Something's there.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt.
So basically what Brian Kelly's saying is that we're running a Tecmo Bowl playbook. You got 4 plays. We're going to run that. We're going to win each game by single digits, no matter if we play Louisiana Tech or we play Alabama or Georgia. We are winning by single digits. We're doing just enough to win.
It's a 10-yard fight playbook.
It's
even
the same
worse.
playbook that Coach O talked about in the gumbo video. Long pass, short pass, run.
Are y'all okay going 15-0 or whatever, winning a national championship, barely beating every team?
Brother, if we punt
That's
every
right.
play and win the national
I
championship,
think
I'm okay.
he thinks that's okay, and he thinks that people shouldn't get mad for us being so frustrated watching this offense.
I get it. I get that part too. You took the job at LSU. There were coaches that have won that in the past in their 4th season. You got some pressure to the job. It's where you're getting paid the money that you're getting paid. Speaking of punting, before I lose this train of thought, first off, fantastic time. Shout out to my tailgate crew, Murda, Shaw,
Look like y'all had fun.
Gyro, my father-in-law, his buddy. We had a bunch of people that came hang out. And my father-in-law gave me his seats, and he took mine. And we sat on like the end row, but it wasn't an end row. There was a metal frame there. You couldn't pass. I mean, I passed, but you shouldn't be passing. So like random times throughout the game, folks would just come and like stand up. And I met a guy from Australia.
That's cool.
And we started talking about a bunch of stuff. And by the way, I said, what's the cuisine in Australia? Like, what's the thing to eat? He said, Asian food. Blew my mind.
But it was Outback.
He said, that's all bull. I asked him all these questions.
They hate Foster's too, by the way.
Yes, he does. They love when I mentioned Brad Wing, his whole face changed. That he's like Ric Flair of Australia.
Can I tell you a Brad Wing story? You know why he went pro after his junior season? When everybody was rolling their eyes saying, what the hell are you doing? He had a 0.0 GPA. Had to. He wouldn't have been eligible.
You could run. From what I gather from that guy's facial expressions, he could have ran for president of whatever political seats they have there.
So look,
Prime Minister or something like that.
Prime Minister of Australia.
Here's the thing, man. Okay, getting back to BK for just a second. I saw a lot of commentary like, well, you are after Louisiana Tech bitching about it not being good enough. And then now you're fussing somebody else for bitching about it not being good enough. Here's the difference, in my opinion. Against Louisiana Tech, you were a 40-point favorite and you won by 16. Against Florida, you were a 6-point favorite and you won by 10. To me, I think you exceeded expectations. Florida's not bad. Florida is a 6-point underdog at Miami this week. So like Vegas is saying over and over again, we don't think Florida's all that bad. And you beat them by double digits and with a hurt quarterback, with some different things pulling against you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be disappointed by that. I think that that's a good win. I don't think you have to apologize. And look, Brian Kelly had two big jobs in the offseason. Fix your defense, fix your special teams. You won on Saturday because you got a badass defense and you got a badass punter. Good on you, coach. I think that should be applauded. Because last year, you don't win this game. You get outscored, you get beat 31-20, and everybody's bitching.
Hey, look, if they win 9 more games like this, I'll shut my mouth. I will know my role and shut my mouth. But Brian Kelly's reaction and his whole, like, you know, hey, we won. We did what we had to do. We won. Like, I get it. And to me, it sounds like he's coming off with a whole, is that not good enough for y'all thing?
He's fake.
And for me, I don't know how y'all live y'all life. Good enough isn't good enough. That's how you lose. Good enough ain't good enough for me. So we got to do better.
Don't talk all offseason about how this is the best team you've ever had. This is the most talent you've ever had.
Yeah, that too.
And then come and have the 94th ranked offense in the country after 3 games, struggling against Louisiana Tech, not struggling to score 13 points, scoring 13 points in a game you had 5 turnovers.
But this is the only time he's ever been 3-0, so he's not wrong.
But if anybody should be mad or frustrated, it should be the goddamn coach.
Yeah, fair.
Like, when as a coach barely won a game and was happy about it, that a game that they probably should have won by more.
I've been mad as a coach winning a game by a lot early in the season.
So where's that fire in Brian Kelly? Where's oh, man, I'm pissed off. We need to execute better. We need to do this, and whatever.
I'm telling y'all, it was the person who asked the question. I'm telling you.
Berta got a question, so why play him against Southeasterns? I expect a quick hook.
Yeah, he's going to get a touchdown or two.
And expected that against Louisiana Tech.
I'm sure that was in the plans to do that, but obviously that couldn't happen.
Hold on. Hey, look, man. I said this last week, and it was a laughing stock thing. I don't think Louisiana Tech sucks, man. They beat Southeastern 24-0. Last week, they beat a conference opponent 49-14. Like, there's a world where Louisiana Tech maybe just isn't ass.
So I'm not saying this word, but their quarterback's name?
He's not the starter no more. It's Blake Baker now. They bench cut.
Their old quarterback, Australian dude, did not know what that was.
Good for him.
Right.
He said, what? That's not what we do.
So
we don't do that either, bro.
With the LSU thing, any drama at all? Are we going to be frustrated? Look, they don't even have a Vegas line. No. Louisiana Tech beat them 24-0. This should be at least a 40-point win. Any drama at all on Saturday?
People are going to be bitching regardless, but I think this should be an easy win.
I think we got a 2-week period where it's going to tell the story the rest of our season. Are we going to crap the bed against Southeastern and do what we did against Louisiana Tech, or we're going to look rough? And then you got Ole Miss. They're struggling right now. I don't even know if they could stop the offense that we have right now.
Yeah.
So we got a 2-week period where, like I just said, is going to tell the story for the rest of the season. Is this a national championship team? I don't see it. I don't think we have the consistency on offense enough. And if we did, we'd be putting up a lot more points.
Could it be, though, that, as Kelly said Monday, hey, we got to get Nuss healthy, and after the bye, we really think he's going to be closer to 100%. Could it be? But look, Nuss wasn't bad last year. He was pretty good. Could it be that after that Ole Miss game, we start to see this offense not be ass anymore and they open it up some? Or we could just see this all year into infinity?
You have to have that thought process because you have so much talent. You have so much speed. You have so much experience on both sides of the football. I'm not giving up. Look, I've been through, I started watching prior to the DiNardo years, so I've been through a little bit of crap. I'm not giving up on them, but I have the right to be frustrated about it.
The one thing that is frustrating, fellas, is that we see it. There was a drive against Florida where they did open up and they did throw the ball down the field, and it was a 10-play, 76-yard touchdown drive where they went down the field, and it was like Joe Burrow was the quarterback. So they have the potential to do it. That was in the middle of the second quarter when they scored to make it 10-3. Boom, 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 pass play. They have the ability to do it. They just don't do it often enough, and I don't know exactly the reason for that. But, dude, that one scoring drive in the middle of the second quarter, The ball was never hitting the ground. They had multiple 20-plus yard pass receptions. They had another 15-yard pass reception. So they have showed that they're capable of doing it. We just don't see it all the time for whatever reason.
I would love to hear the conversations in the headset. And Brian Kelly also said this week that Nussmeier's really smart, and we probably being too smart for our own good. Just do the simple stuff, the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, right? So I think that might get cleaned up a little bit. That should be able to help our offense out. I'm frustrated, but I'm not giving up. Freaking the amount of passes that have traveled 20, completed pass amount that have traveled 20 yards.
Oh, they were showing that stat on TV a lot. It's not a good number.
And then I think there were 4 all season or 6, whatever that is. He threw 16 against Ole Miss last year.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah. And look, I know Lagway's become a meme and people are beating up on him right now, actually, even in the chat. I don't want to defend him because I don't think he's all that good. But I'll tell you this. If you go back and you watch, our defense is really fast. But some of those interceptions, some of them were triple coverage and just bad throws. But there were a few where the receiver did kind of look open. And we just fly to the ball. And we got guys coming out of nowhere and making plays. Our defense is legit. And we were questioning early in the season, hey, is this for real, whatever. I don't think we're going to run into a situation where somebody's going to just bully us and score points. But think about it. We were without maybe our best player in weeks. It didn't matter. Then the older weeks gets injured, and it doesn't matter. They're playing the younger weeks, and Brian Kelly said he doesn't even know the plays, and he's out there making plays. Harold Perkins is decapitating people off the edge. The DBs, look, Baker's strategy is pretty simple. We're bringing the house, and you're not getting bias in man-to-man, so you're going to throw it to us. And so far, nobody's been able to beat that. And he bought the dudes in the portal. He's got the dudes, and right now, that defense, man, 27 points allowed in 3 games.
Let's play a little what if. How long was that Florida touchdown they got called back? 80-some-odd yards?
Yeah, that was a big one.
If that stands, which that holding call was, if he wouldn't have rolled out the pocket, it probably wouldn't have got called.
Yep.
If that stands, how much trouble are we in right there?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
I agree with that. That's fair.
That interception right before the half, I believe that's what won the game.
Yeah. One little interesting tidbit about LSU Southeastern before we move on. Shout out to South Lafourche alum Jacob Hanberry. His son plays for Southeastern.
Yeah.
Carter?
We faced him in the playoffs. He was a Dutchtown.
He was a Dutchtown, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my God, that kid could play. I didn't realize he was with Southeastern.
He's number 22. He's in on like every special teams situation, and I think he even started last game at safety, but he's in and out of the mix. It's 3 guys fighting for 2 spots.
That's awesome.
I tell you what, those tickets are very, very much in demand for whatever reason.
So, again, yes or no? Drama Saturday?
No.
Nah.
There's a be bitching. That's 100% guaranteed. There's going to be bitching.
All right, let me
but
go.
I think we win by 30 points.
Let me go on record. Clip this, St. Pierre. I'm giving LSU a 2-week period.
2-week grace period?
2 weeks. Not to say I'm not going to complain, but I'm not going to get too worked
out. All right. Over under 1 snap for Nuss in the second half.
Over.
I'm going to go under. I think we'll put it to bed, get up like 31-0, and I think we're going to see. Now, let me ask you this. Who would be the backup? Is it going to be Hurley or is it going to be Van Buren?
Give me Van Buren. Who's listed on the depth chart?
Both. It's one of those either or. I think the theory is Van Buren, if like Nuss were down for 6 weeks, would be the starter. But if like
experience.
Right. And
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So I actually think it might be Hurley. Even though he got in a wreck and might be brain dead, I think it's going to be Hurley. Yeah. Turtle?
Sent the first Hurley to get in an accident.
You're right about that.
With a safe lead is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not trying to speak anything into existence.
I don't know. I don't know enough about either one of them freaking dudes.
Van Buren is a former SEC starter, but Hurley was a big badass prospect out of high school. So we'll see. Final score. We didn't pick LSU in our pick. Final score for LSU on Saturday.
45-3.
Turtle?
Southeastern.
41-10.
48-7.
31-0.
That was the score last time we played them, 31-0 in 2018 with Burrow.
Is there anybody on that Southeastern team that we know?
I don't think so. I was combing the roster. Oh, other than Hanbury.
Hanbury's kid.
They're a kind of portal heavy, not Louisiana heavy roster. I do think it was funny. Selfo on Monday had like a mole removed on his face, and he shows up with a big bandage, and he's like, "Yeah, I know I look like that reporter that questioned Brian Kelly about his offense, but let's talk." Nice, solid dad joke from Selfo. Getting you ready for
former Tulane coach, huh?
Yep. Ooh.
All the people in the chat talking shit about DJ Lagway when he's the LSU starting quarterback next year.
Oh no, he's not.
when he comes in the transfer portal to LSU, I'm going to need you to keep that down.
Guys, let's talk about this really quick because we've had some college football coaches get fired this week. UCLA's coach, Virginia Tech's coach. There's a little bitty, teeny tiny rule in fine print that you could transfer immediately if your coach gets fired mid-season. So your boy Nico Imialeva at UCLA, in theory, he could just tomorrow go back to Tennessee.
Wow.
They don't want him.
I know they don't want him.
They're good without him, trust me.
But, could you imagine a world where, I don't know, let's say Virginia Tech had a fucking stud safety or something, and, LSU just says, all right, yeah, we'll pick him up. We probably should change that, huh? We shouldn't have dudes changing rosters in the middle of the year, right?
No. It's pretty interesting.
Has that happened before? And they actually got playing time?
I think this is the first year of the change where they're saying you could transfer immediately if your coach gets fired mid-season.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
You saw the odds on who's going to be the next Virginia Tech coach?
I know Summerall's there. Beamer's there.
Gruden,
yeah.
Is there a job in the world that he's not linked to?
No.
Why the hell would he want to leave?
Tell you what, man.
Dudes gets free shit every week from every school in the world, talks about it on a TikTok, and makes a ton of money at Barstool.
What would if you were Beamer?
Which one?
The Sun at South Carolina. I feel like I wouldn't. And look, we were talking about this today. I know the money will be about equal, and I know Virginia Tech's an easier schedule than South Carolina. I get all that. I don't know that I'd want to just go to the place that but you're going to be compared to your dad every fucking day of your life.
But maybe that's where he was raised, and that's like his LSU to us.
Yeah,
I would imagine that's going to be his thought process. But you going to a conference that might not even be around in the next couple of years.
That's something. And look, Denny in the chat. Hey,
Denny in the chat.
Big red flag in Texas right now because let me tell you something. It wasn't against Ohio State on Saturday, and Arch Manning looked terrible. I'm going to go ahead and read you the stats.
Like the greenhouse.
He's not even on the. He's not even on the board for the Heisman anymore against UTEP. 11 for 25. 114 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Guys, we were told, we were promised, hey, this is going to be the first pick in the draft. And we were sold every bill of goods imaginable, and it just ain't happening. What's going on with Arch?
Is he?
Yes, I've been saying it all fucking
Y'all
season.
have been saying it. I've been defending him because of his last name, and I figured he can't be. The apple isn't too far from that tree. But, man, it's hard defending this kid.
I can't defend him because his first name's stupid.
Thank you. That also.
I don't know if y'all heard that, but the Manning tree definitely has autism. Just a touch.
Just a touch of the tism.
Just a touch.
All my stock is on Marshall Manning, Peyton's kid.
Yeah?
I'm done with Arch.
Marshall Mathis? Oh, he got the Boo Birds called out on
11
Saturday.
for 25. Dude, that's not good.
His coach. You learn a lot on SEC morning show the Monday after, right? That's where I got all my knowledge of today. Sark came out and said, if he was having a ton of mental mistakes or whatever, that he would probably pull him, but he's sticking with him. Did you see the bet?
Chris Doran was a dog at Florida.
He had to dress up full pumpkin.
Come on, he had to dress up like a pump for what?
Whatever SEC. Yeah. He had a bet with, I believe, who the hell was the guy? Sam. I don't remember who it was.
Pittman.
Sam Pittman.
Well, look, man.
Sam Pittman's breath.
Arch is 55.3% completions. We were over here shitting on Anthony Richardson because he was 54.7% completions. He's not accurate. And you mentioned what the coach said this week. I think that makes it even worse because if he's making the right reads, and that means he's just not accurate enough to get the ball to the receiver in the right spots. Like that's not good.
If you want to talk about how bad Texas has been playing, Arch Manning is their leading rusher.
Yeah, right.
He even said that. He said, I probably got to use his wheels a little bit more.
Only rusher to get a touchdown as well.
You know what was crazy is that game featured 2 number 1 overall recruits. UTEP's quarterback was also number 1 overall. Let's talk about the big, bright New Orleans Saints, who are 0-2. I've been getting reminded daily by my guy Billy Joe that the Saints in like 2015 started 0-2 and finished 11-5. I also reminded Billy Joe today that the Saints were 0-2 in 1980 and finished 1-15. So let's talk about it. They lose to the 49ers. They make Mac Jones look like an all-pro. They do have a chance, however, at the end to win the game. I got a gripe for a second straight week with Kellen Moore. You up the clock at the end of the first half in the first game, and then in the last game, dude, it's 3rd and 2, then 4th and 2, and the 49ers are playing a one-man front. They have a nose guard. The ends are at linebacker. Run the ball and get the first down and extend the game. Instead, we go incomplete. Rattler gets killed. Game over. Dude, you have to have possession of the ball to win the game. Why didn't they just pick up the first down?
It all comes down to coaching, even at the pro level.
So this team is playing better than I think we all imagined they would.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
And are they going to win more than 2 or 3 games? I still think they're 4 tops wins on the season, but they have at times been kind of impressive, and then at times they've been what we expected.
Dude, overall, how solid was Rattler, though?
He wasn't too bad.
He's looking pretty good.
I like what I see. It just sucks that
he's not that. Look, and Nick's exactly right. I thought they would be way worse than what they are. They've been in positions to win both games that they've been in, and I didn't think that would be the case. But you putting Rattler, forcing Rattler to be in positions to win you the game. He's not that guy, and he never will be. I watched the game. Speaking of, we could talk about that after. That Giants-Cowboys game, phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Watching some of that game, first couple of drives, you had some movement on offense. You were doing some good things. I even texted our group saying, we got a shot in this game. And instead of running the ball and being consistent, because Kamara looked like a freaking monster on Sunday, you start throwing the ball, and he's trying to throw it in tight windows, and you got Johnson dropping balls that hitting him in the chest. And, I mean, the typical a team that's going to win 3 or 4 games, but you're in these games, and you fix a couple bonehead mistakes, and you may pull a couple games out that you're not supposed to, but you can't keep putting Rattler in positions that he's got to win the game for you because it's not happening.
You know what I think is funny is we're over here stressed out about LSU, who's 3-0, and are fresh off of covering against Florida. We're over here saying, the Saints aren't as bad as we thought. They're 0-2, and the opponent has covered against them in both games now. It's just crazy how psychology works. We were so down in New Orleans, and we're so expecting them to get beat by 60 every week that whenever that doesn't happen, it's like almost a sense of relief.
Expectation.
Right.
Kellen Moore never came out and said, this is the best Saints team ever. That's my Brian Kelly.
One thing I've noticed from watching the Saints game is Olave gets the ball a lot, or we should get the ball to Olave a lot. But every time he gets the ball, he looks terrified. Like he wants to get down as soon as possible before he gets his head taken off. And like, I understand, but that is not a sustainable career move for a receiver to be afraid to get hit. And it looks like he's scared to get hit.
My man's one concussion away from being a vegetable. But again, to that point, you can't rely on somebody that's going to play that way. I mean, he's too big a part of the offense. Now, let me ask you guys this, and we're over here, we're praising Spencer Rattler. At the end of the day, he's 0-8 as a starter. And now the next 2 games are at Seattle, where you're a huge dog, at Buffalo, where they're going to fuck your shit up. You're going to be 0-4, maybe. At what point would they try something else? Or do they – and look, my instinct would be to say, okay, let's plan for the future. But – and I've said this all week on play-by-play. Rattle is younger than Shuck, so maybe this is planning for your future right now. So at what point, if at all, will we see any sort of move be made?
I think if they start getting blown out or if there's some really bad, I guess, reads or decisions made, but I can't see them making that move. Like you said, I think Rattler is going to be the future no matter how much crap Nick talks about the rookie Schaff. He ain't the answer. We saw that in the preseason.
So I got some pretty disappointing news from one of our listeners, Renee Toops. He texted me some information about the Saints front office, and I'm a big let's suck so we can get rid of Mickey Loomis and all.
That ain't happening.
And yeah, that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So, yeah. So we're kind of stuck, fellas.
Well, let's ask this. Okay, yeah, let's say, all right, yeah, man, let's go 2-15. What quarterback do you really want right now? You really want Nuss?
Klubnik's out the question.
Klubnik's fucking terrible. Arch is going back to school.
Arch Manning's going back to Newman.
Give me Mateer.
Mateer, I guess.
Maybe Joe Klatt is a genius.
Hire him as the GM.
Guess where Joe Klatt had him ranked in the top college quarterbacks after this week?
Number one.
First.
Never moved.
That's
and he's not wrong.
Y'all, that's becoming my concern, though, is this was supposed to be such a talent-rich, oh, my God, there's so many quarterbacks, and all I see is diarrhea everywhere because these dudes are down their leg every single week. I don't want any of these dudes. And it's becoming a situation where before it was like, hey, you just got to be in the top 5 because there's going to be like 4 or 5 dudes available. It might be just Mateer that's worth right now. I don't know that I want any of these other guys.
Do you think if LSU got Underwood, that he would have started getting snaps with Nuss being hurt?
I think Nuss would have went pro. Honestly, I think that Nuss would have went pro. I don't think they could have afforded both of them.
Just a thought.
I don't know the answer to that. I think that, especially after watching the show where they're working a multi-million-dollar deal with that, I think that Nuss would have probably went pro.
Hey, shout out. I know we're talking NFL. Shout out to the Lions. Dan Campbell decided, hey, we're not going to suck this week. Put up 50 against Caleb Williams and the nail-painting Bears.
Who's Fernando Mendoza? He's got the 6th best odds to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Sounds like a relief pitcher for the Yankees.
Sounds like a position player that would hit less than 200.
So he is Indiana's quarterback. I don't know that I'd feel confident taking Indiana's quarterback number 1 overall, even though he's got 9 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Check out the latest Heisman rankings. Is that what you were looking at?
Oh, I was looking at the odds to be the number 1 overall pick.
You know who's not in the top 17?
Oh, the Heisman, yeah. Everybody that we thought has fallen off of a cliff.
Let's see what ESPN got right now. Guess who's number 1?
Mateer, Carson Beck, Drew Aller.
I got FanDuel, Carson Beck number 1, Mateer 2nd, Dante Moore 3rd, Gunnar Stockton 4th. Oh, that's disgusting. Gunnar Stockton. Jeremiah Smith 5th, Marcel Reed 6th. See if Nuss is even on the list.
Gunnar Stockton is the exact opposite of Spencer Rattler. Just put him in a position to win a game. He's going to get it done.
Nuss is 20-1 right now. Arch is 40-1.
Some money to be made, Casey.
Yeah,
lay it all on Arch.
Some money to lose, too. Man, where's the Klubnik is 100-1, Sellers 100-1. A lot of these dudes that were up there in the preseason ain't up there anymore, boys. A lot of bad and slow starts to the year.
Dude, when is Taysom Hill coming back?
Never. He, I don't know. He's on the pup, so he's got to miss at least 4.
I think they said week 11, maybe. Or I could be wrong.
Golly.
What the hell is he going to do?
Not that I think he's the savior, but like he'll at least mess with betting lines.
I think he's like 40 years old by now, though.
Let me ask you guys this, and we were debating this. If New Orleans had a healthy Derek Carr, would they be 2-0 right now?
Probably, sadly.
Yeah. Shit the bed for the rest of the year. Exactly what they did last year.
Isn't that depressing, though? That, like, you don't really need to have Mahomes at quarterback right now. But if you just had Derek Carr, you would be 2-0.
Chiefs might rather Derek Carr at quarterback than Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
they kind of ran into 2 buzzsaws. Hey, Ryan mentioned something that's been pretty interesting. Diego Pavia. I know you hate him. I think he's finally done. I do think he's finally done. I think he lost his court battle this week on his 7th year of eligibility.
So he's 30.
He's going to give LSU some problems.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of South Carolina. Now, granted, Sellers was out, but yeah. Now I look forward to Harold Perkins chasing them around and hopefully knocking them out the game. But yeah, Vanderbilt's not bad, dude. They're ranked. One of the first shows we did, I was telling everybody to take their over 4.5 bet.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Why? Yeah, they won like 7 or 8 games last year. Why was that over 4.5? Just because they're Vanderbilt and y'all are used to them sucking? They're already at that number. Let's talk about the fight. Canelo and Crawford. Talk about a big swing and a miss. Most of us picked Canelo. And it's not a
most of us.
You picked Crawford, did you?
Absolutely. Every time we talk about this fight, I say, I think Crawford's going to win.
Do we need to go listen to that?
Yes, you do.
My bad.
Mr. Editor, you should know this.
I don't listen.
I am not surprised necessarily that Crawford won because, hey, they're both great boxers. But I am surprised that Crawford beat the shit out of him. He beat him up. I thought that if anything, it would have been like Canelo's power bothering. Crawford looked younger, even though he's older. Crawford looked fresh. He looked hungrier. He looked more willing to engage. And the judges agreed. I think most people in boxing agree that was a win, and it really wasn't all that close. So
Scorecards were close.
Yeah, scorecards were fairly close. So is Terrence Crawford now the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world?
Mm-hmm. I don't know about that, but
who
it's hard to argue.
Yeah, who would be better?
Yeah, who's better?
I don't know.
Get it out of the mud.
But Crawford did fight the perfect fight. Defensively, offensively, he was a step ahead of Canelo the whole time. Landing punches, awesome head movement and defense. He just fought the perfect fight, and I called it. No big deal. I called it.
Is Canelo Hollywood now? But boy, I got to tell you, it looks like he don't really want to fight anymore.
I think, Damien had said that earlier, but I think it was just frustration that he couldn't get. He wasn't landing like he normally does, and defensively, he fought a perfect fight.
Was the fight good?
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't incredible. It was all right.
I watched it as a passenger on the way home, and I felt like I should have been more engaged in the fight, and there was nothing that was just drawing to me. I don't know if it was the production or what that was, but or if it was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and driving to Baton Rouge. I don't know. I wasn't engaged as I thought I was. I think the scorecards were wrong. You had 97-93 and then 96-94 twice. And from reading about it this week, going into the last couple of rounds, it was tied, which I had laid some money on a majority decision, which would have been fantastic because I thought there might have been some shenanigans going on. But I'm disappointed the fact that Canelo lost and the fact that he didn't really look like he wanted to be here. I do agree with you on that. And maybe that was why I wasn't as engaged in the fight as I thought I would.
What's next for either of these guys? They were asking Bud after the fight if you were going to retire, be 42-0. They were asking Canelo what's next. Both guys were kind of ho-hum and mum. They didn't want to really talk much. What's next for either of these guys?
Money.
Rematch?
A ton of money. I don't.
Jake Paul.
No.
For Canelo.
I would love to see that, but I think Jake Paul's going to be dead by then because his next fight, he's going to get the beat out of him. And when I say dead, I don't mean he's going to get killed. I mean, his legacy's going to be dead. Tell you what, one of the best things about the fight was, I think it was at the end of the 4th round, when they showed Logan Paul, and Logan Paul, instead of being like, hey, man, why are y'all booing me? He just hell yeah, the champ is here. Mm-hmm. Best heel in the world.
Speaking of, Ricky Hatton died. He was supposed to fight one of them World Trade Center bombers. Unreal.
The Bush family?
He was fighting Jeb. Why am I here?
What happened with the death of Ricky Hatton? I just saw the headline. I didn't see
a cause of death. Let's Google it. I'm sure TMZ knows exactly what happened.
But how crazy is that? I mean, the dude has his body has taken a toll in the ring and out the ring, and just interesting the fact that he's about to fight this millionaire Arab and he dies. Some mafia shit.
It says the specific cause of death for Ricky Hatton has not been publicly released by authorities, although the Greater Manchester Police confirmed there was no suspicious circumstances when his body was discovered. He was found at age 46. Hatton was open with his past struggles with depression, alcohol, and drug addiction, though his parents did not disclose the cause of death in his public tribute.
I think it was the jet fuel that melted the steel beams. That killed him. I knew I would get Nick on that.
I hope he didn't off himself. I mean, you hear depression. I hope it's not anything like that.
I mean, he was doing the one thing that he wasn't depressed about.
Yeah.
He was coming back to fight.
Yeah. Well, that sucks, man.
It does. Let's talk about October 4th, man.
Yeah. We got the king, man.
We do have some matchups announced. Nothing big.
It's not on that card in New Orleans, that Lions Center or whatever.
Oh, we need to go back and review the results from there.
Yes.
Oh, and all the guys not from Louisiana?
Pulling that up right now.
Guys from Louisiana. We're talking about a fight card on October 4th. It's October 17th, Friday night at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. Our guy, Devin McGovern. We have Jonathan Guidry from Dulac as the main event of the night. Not sure what type of opponent to expect. I'm expecting somebody with a kind of a backwards record. Jonathan's been out in the ring for a couple of years now. Anxious to see his comeback. Hopefully he's dedicated. Two matchups that have been announced. Marcus McDaniel, middleweight, super middleweight type of guy from the lower ninth ward of New Orleans, was stunned in his fight back in March against Aaron Casper, a 7-10 Aaron Casper. Lost unanimous decision over 8 rounds, fighting Noah Lacoste, who's 4-5 out of Houma.
What is that on his face?
Road Warriors tattoo on his face. What in the?
Who has he fought?
He has
Aaron Anderson, LSU's receiver.
He's got a knockout against Caleb George, who's a pretty damn good amateur. 3rd round knockout. 40 years old. From Houma. Looks like the dude that got knocked out at Murphy gas station in Houma.
All right.
Maybe we get him on.
Let's get right to it here. You're a fan and a friend of Marcus McDaniel. If we lose into the 40-year-old with the Road Warriors tattoo from Houma, who's 4-5, time to not do this anymore, right?
Well, he shouldn't have fought Aaron Casper, who's 36 and who had lost. Look at it.
It's all lost.
Yeah. Marcus is a showman. And he's extremely talented. Been knowing him and his trainer since he was fighting in the amateurs. He was really good. He's a fantastic human being. And he could probably do something else and be very successful. Marcus he's got some age on him, I believe. 42 is my age. Like, I wouldn't be getting in the ring.
Yeah. Let's recap the big Lions Center card this weekend. The promoter, Mo Darthard, the matchmaker, Melvin Davis, timekeeper, Jeff LeBlanc, the doctor, Mike Jones.
Jeff LeBlanc, A-class individual. Nick knows him. Yeah, fantastic dude.
Do we have an attendance for this one?
6.
That hit the over at least.
Isaiah Jamal Turner loses a split decision, dropping to 1-5-1. Saraminius Williams gets the win, gets to 6-9-0 and a split decision win. Justin Verdon was the only one that gave it to Turner. Everybody else had it lopsided for Saraminius Williams. Giovanni Tovius wins in his debut, defeating James Hughes via a unanimous decision. James Hughes is now 1-2. Brandon Chaney, who came into the bout undefeated, 4-0. Well, he's 4-0-1 now as he gets a draw. Jerome Clayton draws him, and now Jerome Clayton is 3-4-2. His Landetta in his debut gets a first-round TKO win in 28 seconds.
Let's go, Danny.
Over Adam Hatch, who's now 0-2. Ezekiel El Zahid gets a first-round TKO win in 1:12 over Oliver Thomas, and Ezekiel El Zahid is now 4-0. Ferris David, no, that fight didn't happen, okay. Wayne Atlow in a draw against Graham Royal. So a couple of draws, couple of knockouts.
I was so looking forward to Wayne Atlow. Editing our episode from last week, apparently I talked up Master Wayne. I'm disappointed in the draw.
There's the only guy from Louisiana on the card, and he got a draw.
That is unreal.
Looking at some of these judges' scores, there was a little bit of a spread in some of those fights. That's hard, dude. I don't know how, and you've done it before. I think, Nick, you might have even done it before. I don't know how y'all judge them things.
That's not that hard.
It's really not.
You basically watch it, and who you think won.
At the end of the day, you get paid to watch boxing.
Okay. Fair enough. I get paid to watch sports. I get it. I could relate.
And you get a best seat in the house.
I feel like that's too close. I feel like I get bled on and spat on.
James Johnson fight coming up next week, I believe.
Sometimes you pick up a tooth off the apron.
That was old James.
Doctor's phone number, by the way, is 281-330-8004.
Hit him up
Mike Jones.
on the low.
Oh, Mike Jones. All right. Before we lose all of our listeners, let's shift gears and talk about something that is going to gain us listeners. These here have been doubting my reporting for the last 5 years. Wendy's is coming down the bayou. Thank you very much. They posted on social media yesterday saying, we're hiring managers, baby. We're about ready to rock and roll. The guy still doesn't want to come. It's probably a scam. But Wendy's is coming. DTB, baby.
Okay, so they're hiring managers to go work somewhere else, right?
Have you seen the condition of the building?
It looks like you could serve a hamburger out of there right now.
I mean, you
right
could.
now.
You could, but
I have never seen a more sturdy structure for a restaurant.
And first off, they're going to have to destroy the building and build something brand new. When's the last time you saw Wendy's as a refurbished donut place? Oh, your cat got your tongue?
My guy says we're hiring managers and we're opening up in 2026.
No
way.
Freaking way.
No way.
I have nothing but faith.
Prove us wrong, guy.
You're going to have to destroy the whole building.
I mean, I don't doubt that what y'all are saying, and obviously I'm being sarcastic whenever I'm defending this so strongly, but what's the strategy of like letting everybody think that something's coming that's not? Like what's the end game here?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why is this guy hyping this up when there's no chance this is happening?
She's trying to get some startup donations or something.
Unless it's one of these Primerica schemes where you just sell fake insurance to people.
Let's go.
No offense, Primerica.
Let's go find the Oh, you got people selling insurance from a gurney in your street. Last I heard, it's a scanner.
No, that was security.
ADT.
All right.
From a scooter.
Have you seen that? So the guy, his last name's Hayes.
Michael P.S.
Like, have you seen his Facebook?
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm going to see. All right, so Kenny Mays, isn't that the name of a telemarketer?
Kenny Mays Hayes.
Kenny Mays here. No, it's Billy Mays.
Billy Mays. Well, everyone, Wendy's is getting closer to arriving on the bayous of South Lafourche Parish. The fact that he thinks there's more than one bayou, a little sus. We are looking to begin hiring the managers for our upcoming locations, plural, in cutoff. So there's more than one coming, apparently. And we would love to talk to you if you are Wendy's kind of people. We will start hiring crews in a couple of months. What we're looking for, honest, dependable, friendly people to help us bring the life of Wendy's to Cutoff, Louisiana. Apply here, and we look forward to meeting you soon. Or text 15DF0083 to 31063 to get an application. I'm doing that
There's nothing that says scam more than that.
This was typed into Google Translate from India and put on a South Lafourche scanner page.
All right, so I haven't looked for a job in quite some time, but if I was, or if you guys were, say you needed a job tomorrow, where would you start?
Not at Wendy's.
No, like what service would you go to?
Oh, LinkedIn.
After that,
see if I got an app.
What's the biggest job posting website in the world?
Made a Gazette.
Indeed.
Right? Wait, are you agreeing? Indeed. The Gazette is the biggest?
I said the Gazette. He said Indeed.
Indeed. So in real life, it's where you go to. So Wendy's has openings. Be a team member. $8 to $11 an hour. Guess where? Houma. $9 to $11 an hour. Thibodeau. There you go, Nick. Thibodeau's making more. New Orleans, Thibodeau, and that Thibodeau.
Yeah, damn thing for Galliano.
Thibodeau, Houma.
But, man, like I just applied online, so I'm in the running to be a manager.
A shift manager or what kind of manager?
Like it is the actual Wendy's website, and it does say cutoff location. So like it's not a total scam.
District manager, you can make $88,000 a year. GM, 50. Could almost be a teacher. And a shift manager makes $10.50 an hour.
Wendy's Rewards is fast, free, and full of flavor. Earn points on every order and trade them for fries, burgers, not burgers,
The Wendy's.
BURGZ, Bergs and more. One fry closer to free, always. Good God.
I rather crispy burger.
I am fascinated. Okay, so let's go Meta AI. It says what people are saying. I'm not going to read comments. Just want to see what Meta AI has to say. Excitement builds as Wendy's arrives in cutoff with hiring underway for managers and crew members. Commentators eagerly anticipate Frosties and Baconator fries, while others emphasize the importance of drug testing and responsible hiring practices to ensure a safe and successful establishment.
Give me 3 random comments on there.
Sure, yeah. One says it's really in North Galliano, not cutoff.
North Galliano.
Another, please scope out the employees. Good. It's getting dangerous out here with all the drugs and crackheads and meth babettes. That's another. A little concerning.
What do you think that guy from out of town, he has to be reading this stuff.
As long as the meth heads don't start running the place, it'll be fine.
So that's the reason that the donut place didn't work.
Now, this is the one that I think y'all would say. Y'all better hire somebody to go cut that grass and pressure wash that building before you do anything. At least put up a sign. Last time I passed, I didn't see no signs of life. Kenny Mays replied, and he said, the grass has been cut since I bought it last year. The entire building will be... yeah, that's what you cut grass once a year. The entire building will be redone, and construction will start December the 2nd, baby.
Dang.
Let's go!
December the 2nd. All right.
December the 2nd, we're redoing that bitch, and we're going to have Wendy's over here. Why am I so excited about this?
I don't know. Because you think you were wrong.
Kenny also said, hoping they cook the bacon and not get half raw food. Kenny replied back and said, I could assure you our bacon is cooked. Well, thank you, Kenny. Good to know that you're not serving raw food to the patrons.
Yeah, let's get back to normal.
We want to welcome Coach Alan Wiltz of Raceland Middle School on the line. Coach Wiltz, good evening. How you doing, sir?
How's it going, guys?
Going good, bro.
Nobody's moving into that by the way.
Yes.
See, Coach Wiltz told me he was a big fan.
I was just about to ask you the first question, where are we getting a Wendy's down the bayou? And then right out of the gate, you just take all hope away from me.
No, you're wishful dreaming.
All right.
Real quick, Coach. I passed through Raceland earlier this week, and they had a new taco truck. Have you tried that? Because I wanted to stop, but I was with my family. They didn't want this.
Well worth the stop. Get the chorizo burrito. Can't go wrong.
Wait, where?
It's near like the soccer fields if you were going by the Raceland post office.
Right before the community center.
At some point, we're going to talk some football, but let me ask you this right out of the gate, and you told me the answer Monday, but let's elaborate a little further because, you know, we cut up here a little more. You said Lesnar's going to beat Cena this weekend. Tell us how he's going to do it. Is it going to be clean, interference, F5? Like, how is Lesnar going to beat John Cena this weekend?
Well, he's not, because I completely switched my my after the promo, after watching Monday Night Raw, because I was actually a day behind on Raw. I think Cena's going to come out, and I think it's going to be clean.
Damn. Like,
losing clean?
Pin him, tap him out. How's he going to get him?
No, you might be right. It might not be the clean version, but a choke out, STFU, the old school, maybe with a chain or something like that, kind of like Extreme Rules, where they had a match a few years ago. That's the way it kind of goes out.
Okay. Let's talk a little football, man. Your football team takes on E.D. White yesterday. Whew, really good performance, man. 32-0. You're 2-0. You told us on Monday. You said, hey, for the Parish Championship chase, this is a big one. Well, you guys are still very much so in the Parish Championship chase, staying undefeated, getting a lopsided win against a very good opponent.
A little bit, not say unexpected, but I mean, I did not expect to basically hold them to negative yardage. Our defense just came to play yesterday, and I know they had some kids out on the E.D. White side, but look, when push comes to shove, if you look at my sideline, and I had 3 kids out on suspension, unfortunately, yesterday. We dressed 23 kids yesterday, and you're not going to hear any complaints from me one way or the other if we win or lose based on our roster size. So that's not going to be coming out of me. But when it comes to our defense, I mean, I thought we scouted them well. I think that if you go back and watch, we all watched film today. We allowed no completions in the passing game. So that means that they had to run the ball. And just when you limit somebody, especially once we get the lead, it's really hard to do move in middle school football all the way down the field. Special teams was a really, really in our favor, and 90% of the time, I would say that Edie White probably wins in special teams. But we flip field position with our punting game. We pin them back deep decently in our with our kickoffs. And like you said, I know you joked about it, but we fed Traquan Smith in that first half, got 2 touchdowns, and was able to come in that second half and just kind of broke their will and got 2 late scores to really put it away.
Tell me about this, man. And look, as a coach, obviously you would love to have a 100-person roster, and you'd love to have, all the depth and be 3 deep at every position. But is it almost a situation where if you have a smaller, tighter knit bunch, you got 28 on your roster, is it almost a situation where if you have the right small army, it could almost be better because the kids are more bought in than a bigger, less unified bunch?
100%. 100%. And, one of the things that Coach K and I, Karpinski, who is with us, and then we also have Coach King, so I don't want to confuse the two. They're both with us. When we talk football, 100% everybody knows that we have to rely on each other when it comes to coaches, when it comes to players, execution, and there's no fingers to point, and there's really not that many guys who can even come onto the field and back us up at a decent rate. But then yesterday, we have a kid, Chance Punch, who comes out, has to start at corner unexpectedly, plays a great game. We had a defensive lineman go down. We stick a guy in. He goes up and gets a sack fumble. Even though it's a small group, everybody knows that we're in this together, and we're fighting for each other, and we're fighting really just for our team name, the pride of our school. And these guys have done everything they can to just buy in. And like we said yesterday, like we threw some wrinkles at the last second. And I know that our team can handle stuff like that because like they're so football smart and they know the plays so well that like we can just change formations, wrinkle formations, or we might wrinkle motions. It might be the same play, but it looks 10 different ways. So if you're not concentrating from the other side, it could be a real pain in the ass to play us right now. I think the Edie White win really kind of solidified us as a group. Like, hey, we're here.
Yep, that's awesome, man. Look, let me ask you this. You got a lot of conversation started on Monday when you said, hey, I think there should be playoffs. I think there should be a championship game. I think we should do some stuff to spruce this up. A lot of people on social media are behind you. I haven't seen anybody like, hey, no, that's a terrible idea. So just kind of further elaborate on that, man. Like, I think you're on to something. I think it would be so cool if we had a 4-team playoff or at the very least a championship game or whatever it may be. Something to just like kind of give these kids a big event at the end of the season to kind of reward their efforts.
I couldn't even tell you what parish around here doesn't have some form of championship games in most of their sports. But when it comes to Lafourche Parish, I mean, I think we're not talking about a huge commitment about adding time, but we're talking about adding excitement. And look, we can go down the line. Thibodeau and Edie White are mostly going to be in the football conversation from year to year. You'll have teams like LCO, Raceland, Golden Meadow, and Bayou Blue if they get some kids here and there who would like to sniff into the playoff race. I can tell you right now, I didn't want to play Bayou Blue at the end of the season last year. Hunter Babin and what's his name? Quarterback.
Domain? Was it a Domain?
Domain,
yes.
Jackson Domain. Yeah. Those nobody wanted to see those guys again. They would have loved that opportunity, and Emil knows like they had their best season ever last year. So why not try to reward these kids with a chase of a championship with a team that might not normally have those types of aspirations? It's not much more of a commitment either to time-wise. So I really don't understand like why we can't get this figured out. I've proposed it twice at our athletic directors meetings, and both times were shot down. I guess with a little bit more support, I'll throw my head back up on the block again and see if I can get this across, or if it gets chopped off, it gets chopped off. It is what it is.
What are they saying in opposition? What is the reasoning for not wanting to do it?
Some teams are not competitive, according to some athletic directors.
Well,
So
then they don't make the
want-
playoffs. It doesn't matter.
Not everybody gets a trophy.
Well, and that's the joke that I said, to you, Coach Gale, is like this. Everybody needs to be in the All-Star game, and everybody needs to be, in the championship game. We all need to share, the same record. No, man, that's not what sports is. That's not what sports has ever been. Competition is what I live for. I mean, anybody who loves sports has never said, you know what my favorite game was? That game that ended in a tie. Nobody's ever said that. You're going to have these years where you have these outlier teams where a few years back, LCO wiped the floor. Yeah, I know. They wiped the floor with everybody. And yeah, so a championship game with LCO might not have been that exciting. But the idea that just give me a chance is something that you can't replicate. So I'm hoping that this year, we do have some new athletic directors in the house. So maybe I can get them on board to see my way, but you also have to get the principals to buy in. And sometimes that could be the stoppage right there, because if we're talking about adding another week of games or 2 weeks of games possibly, then that means that that's one less night that they're not at home. It's tough. You just got to get the right people on board at the right time. But most of the principals that won't be at these games are not the schools we're even talking about. So you wish they would just try to help us pass it through, especially the schools that really love and care about sports.
Yep. Coach, do you remember if they ever had something like that in Lafourche Parish? I could remember I was head coach at Golden Meadow basketball in 2014, I believe. And there was a 14 playoff at the end of that season. And I just remember the kids and everybody wanted to know who won that night and where we were in the standings. And I could remember, this was obviously 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that we were one game out of being in the top four. And I remember going to watch the games, and the games were super competitive. And like you mentioned, a team like a Bayou Blue last year, you never know what would happen when you get in that playoff scenario. You just don't know. And that's the beauty of it.
And this is why I want it. My first year was 2015, and there was no playoffs then. So I'm assuming that it must one or 2 years, somewhere around there, it must have died. But I'm not sure why it died. I know that when I was in school, it was all just based on record. Then they brought a championship game out for a few years, and then it disappeared. So I'm not too sure the history of that. I'd like to ask a few other coaches. I'll probably call Coach Riley, see what he knows, because he's been around a little bit before me. But yeah, just the idea of we're playing for a championship is so much more exciting than hey, this is the last game of the season. You're undefeated and you're playing for your championship, but it's not against necessarily the best team. Here's a case in point. So 1 year, Raceland basketball is playing against our rivalry, Lockport. And we end up winning the game by 55. Oh. And I mean, we were stacked that year. Brandon Daniels was on the team. We had a super stacked team. And it wasn't really a championship game feel because, yes, that's our last game. If we win, we're the champions. We weren't playing against West Thibodeau. We weren't playing against LCO, Golden Meadow. So because of that, it's not the feeling that you want at the end of the season when your best players are sitting on the bench in the second quarter.
Yep. No, that's fair, man. That's fair. Look, shift gears just a smidge. I know you watch a lot of football. We are kind of split here. Some of us are freaked out about LSU. Others are saying, hey, well, let's give it a little more time. Damien reached a compromise with us. He said he's giving Brian Kelly a 2-week grace period. Where are you watching them LSU Tigers? Is it time to panic, or should we all just chillax for a little bit?
Well, Brian Kelly is speaking about his quarterback, saying he's a little bit beat up. To me, that sounds like my quarterback's playing, and I need to have some type of excuse. That way, his Heisman hopefuls and his draft stock doesn't fall. No, I think there is some issues as far as just the consistency with Nussmeier. I think he definitely is a playmaker, but he also throws about 3 to 4 passes a game that makes you scratch your head. But this defense is legit. I'm more leaning towards the offense will figure it out. because the defense will carry us. But there's going to be a time when we need this offense to give us a 42-point effort and some type of shootout, because you're going to see that sometime in the SEC or, beyond in the playoffs. So I'm leaning towards optimistic that our defense is that good, but there's definitely something brewing on the offense.
Coach Wilt, South Lafourche is playing Central Lafourche on Friday. You are an assistant boys basketball coach at Central Lafourche, so you spend a lot of time with Jeremy Cleveland. We were talking earlier in the show about how special of a player he is, how gifted he is at extending plays, and ultimately, too, this is a kid who's just an unbelievable human being. From being around him as much as you have, tell us a little bit about that Central Lafourche starting quarterback.
I mean, it's one of the first Raceland kids to go on to start at quarterback that I coached. So I have a real, special connection with him, working with him since he was in 6th grade on. And then just to kind of see him, he was a 2-year starter at quarterback here at Raceland, just to see him kind of just grow up and mature. He's still got a funny bone in him. He's a silly goose too, but that's what his charm is. And it's very, it's very addictive when it comes to his other teammates. Like sometimes it can be a distraction. Jeremy knows it, but most of the time it's what kind of fuels the team. And he also has a fiery side to him. And that's the side that what carries him to do great things on the court and on the football field. And I couldn't wish him any better of a chance to do something great here. I hope he does something awesome. I know South is going to be a great matchup. It's been a great matchup between these two teams for the last few years. It's kind of been going back and forth, which we haven't really had between South Lafourche and Central. It's been kind of one-sided, unfortunately. I'm a Trojan alumni, so I definitely see it and feel it.
No, we were okay with how it was in the 90s and 2000s. That was all right.
Hey, look, we won my sophomore and junior year. That's all I can say. So I wasn't square. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's a great kid, and I'm hoping that he does great things, not only this year but beyond.
Yeah, no doubt.
Coach, without giving out too much information, obviously we're not watching a ton of film, and our viewers at the house probably be showing up to Friday night and just wondering what's going on with the Central kids. Tell us some other folks on that team that may not get as much publicity as Cleveland does, and who we need to look out for on Friday night.
Hey, look, Tamyron Crandall is a firecracker. If you get that guy the ball in space, he is going to make you wish you did not see him. Robert Booty Day, he's going to slam you into the ground if you're flat-footed, so you better be ready. I don't think Victor Ellison's going to be quite ready yet. I know he's been dealing with a hamstring issue, but if he would be there, I'd be rooting for him as well. And then, of course, we have Tyreek Cooper, who has been a great player for me, and I get to coach him in basketball as well. And all these guys were super playmakers for me. I'm looking forward to it. I think that it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to be I'm hoping it's a shootout. I think this will be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing what Terrence Petrie is going to do on the other side. I haven't got to see him play in person yet, so not since he used to terrorize my ass. So, so I've only get to see clips of Terrence, and I've got to see him on the hard court. But I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do on Friday night.
Look, I'll leave you with this, Coach. You guys are now 2-0, and the boys are feeling good, and I'm sure they're walking around the halls with a little extra swagger. How do you make sure that they're staying focused and are using the confidence positively and not negatively and starting to eat that rat poison?
If we fail, we'll always remember it. And we have the biggest opportunity in front of ourselves. We have not been 2-0 football-wise in quite some time. We usually hiccup in the early stages because we do play Golden Meadow early and we play Edie White early because we kind of on a stuck schedule, so to say. We play the opponents in the same order the last few years. So for us to kind of finally get over that hump and get us to that 2-0 barrier, I told them that don't matter if we stumble here in the next few weeks. So we got to stay focused in the classroom first, stay focused on the field second, and then and then we just need to execute from here on out. I will say this: before the game against Edie White, we're doing warm-ups yesterday and call a few plays just to get us warmed up before we go out there. And I could tell something was off, and I called them all in. We huddle up, and I tell them, this is exactly how I felt last year when we played against LCO, and we got stomped from the get-go. We couldn't snap the ball. We couldn't run the ball. Couldn't do anything. And so I'm telling them this story, and they all of a sudden super focused, finished up warm-ups great, end of the game great, obviously. So at the end of the game yesterday, we start talking about, look, you went from being the hunter, now you're going to be hunted. You got teams that are going to be down the schedule who are looking to upset you. They want to be the ones to knock off Raceland. Or better yet, there's going to be teams that want to say that they're better than you. And I keep pointing at them and saying, nobody's better than you guys, but we got to prove it.
Yep.
Because it doesn't mean anything if you don't prove it.
Yep.
Coach, your neighbors to the Lockport side, I know you've seen them before. Is that surprising to you that they're coming out the gate so strong? I know a lot of us on the panel were a little surprised, but I know they have a lot of guys with some experience.
Yeah, me and Jacob Allen were joking about this when he moved on. He's like, man, I'm sad to leave because I know that this is going to be a great roster next year. And he joked like, hey, you never know, Raceland versus Lockport might be a championship type game next year. And sure enough, both of us have gotten out the blocks with a great start, both being 2-0. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. I know they're legit. The way that they hit and that they play, they are super, super disciplined. They listen to their coaches really well. So I know they're legit. It's all on their shoulders now to just do like what we're doing at Raceland. Is everybody is looking at them. The lights have gotten a lot brighter on Lockport, so they're going to have to perform. I know they can do it, and I'm looking forward to the challenge down the road.
Good deal. Hey, man, we thank you so much. Love you, brother. You know that. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And if you are on the home side at any point on Friday, come swing by and say hello, man.
Will do, man. Y'all have a great evening.
Yep, that's Coach Wiltz with Raceland. Love that dude. There is very few coaches in the area who, get what we do as well as him. Hence him coming on and cutting up and joking about Wendy's and all that with us. Great guy, and they got a good football team, man. They are 2-0, trying to win the parish championship. And by the way, what he said a second ago, dead on. We got to get that playoff. Do you know how much money them schools would make, man? Right. We got to get that playoff. There's no reason not to.
Tell you what, that was a really good interview. We appreciate your time, Coach. He mentioned something that not a lot of people get to experience. He mentioned being the hunters to being the hunted.
Yep.
That's a big quote-unquote target on your back.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see how some of these teams that maybe aren't used to that respond to that. I'm anxious to see it. And Coach, we appreciate your time, and I just texted him. He did a great job. We definitely have to have him on again. Did not realize the level of fandom he had for us, and we definitely appreciate it.
Oh, no, yeah. We'll see. He's a good dude. And he would be one that would come hang out with us here, too, if we invited him.
That Raceland team last year, you could tell they were good. It's just that they had little things that they kept on just screwing up on. Like they would line up in a shotgun, and the center quarterback exchange against LCO, at least, was shaky. And they had a lot of turnovers like that, and that's how LCO beat them. And if they got that fixed, they're definitely going to be a tough team as they're 2-0 this year in district.
Let me ask you guys this. This is not related to sports whatsoever. I saw this scrolling through Facebook as Coach Wiltz was talking. What do you guys think is the biggest issue in the world right now? What's the one thing we got to clean up so that we could have a better tomorrow?
People being triggered way too easily.
Okay, Nick?
That's,
Turtle?
Everybody just shut up and love everybody and be happy and be nice and just get along.
All right, well, scientists are trying to make the world better. They are claiming that they've made pivotal steps in bringing back the dodo bird for the first time in 300 years. And according to scientists, thousands of dodo birds could return within a decade, according to Colossal Biosciences, a de-extinction company.
I'm shooting one.
What the is this?
We a bird
inspired
show?
By Follow That Bird. the Sesame Street movie with Big Bird.
We talked about not seeing baby pigeons, doing vulture last week, and now we on dodo birds.
Colossal Biosciences said Wednesday it has succeeded in growing pigeon primordial germ cells for the first time, which is a pivotal step in bringing back the dodo bird, which was a type of pigeon. A dodo bird's a pigeon. Who knew?
Babies.
For the first time in 300 years. I tell you what, man, every single day when I get out of bed and I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking, man, let's make this a good day. I'm saying, boy, I wish I'd see a dodo bird outside. That would just over the top for me.
You pump yourself up in the mornings?
Not really. I'm just being sarcastic to be entertaining.
Like a
Watching some Walker, Texas Ranger, getting ready to roundhouse somebody walking out his door.
What happens tomorrow if you go outside and in your yard's a dodo bird? Just
tackling it. Tackling. Full speed.
Where do we as scientists, like, where do we stop? If we bring back the dodo bird, is T-Rex next?
Okay, oh, yeah, they coming.
This is government. The government putting chips,
down, Uncle Nick's
putting
tree.
Cameras into this bird carcass and letting them spy on average Americans.
I was in Homa Monday. I brought this up before we hit record.
How's my Homa looking?
Like you could buy it for $1.50.
How do we need to win this Powerball?
I got to drive in that
Turtle. Every bridge is broken. Every road that's supposed to be 2 lanes is 1 lane. Everybody doesn't know how to do a 4-way stop. It is utter chaos. It's like right after Ida every day. And Turtle, I don't know how you do it every day. I've only had to do it twice in the last month. And I left thinking they should be paying Nick to come and take over this place and shut it all down.
I'm fortunate with where I live and my path to work. Like it's all, LA 182, Prospect. It's all East Side. And then I'm back. I got to cross Grand Caillou briefly, but like, thank God I don't have to deal with the tunnel. And with the Dularge Bridge on the other side being out, that screws everything and puts everyone going through the tunnel. It is a horrible experience if you're trying to go west. Thankfully, I don't have to, but my God.
The tunnel is now like, it's like a 4-year-old child. It has a personality. Some days it's like, yeah, I'm going to just not be open. I'm going to be closed today.
Well, dude, like every other week, somebody wrecks in it. And then they really got to reroute traffic everywhere. There's
hard to drive when you're holding your breath, man.
I was just about to ask if you guys were hold your breath in the tunnel.
Oh, absolutely. This one, the one in Mobile, every tunnel.
Touch wood or a screw or something. What's the thing when you run through a tunnel?
But now the traffic's so bad you would die.
No, bro.
Look, I avoid Homa like the freaking plague. I go to Gray or Schriever every day. I don't have to pass through all this drama. Allegedly, somebody on this panel interviewed somebody that was looking for another job because they couldn't make the drive within 90 minutes that normally took 25.
Damn. Golly, that's crazy. Okay, down to by folks. Where do you have to be going in Terrebonne Parish for it to officially be you're going to Homa? If you go to South Terrebonne, are you going to Homa?
Right past South Terrebonne.
So like that red light after South Terrebonne is Homa?
No.
For me.
Not to me. You got to pass the double bridge or the tunnel. After that,
so you got to cross the intercoast. Okay. Well, okay. Now, what about the other end? Where does Gray end and you're in Homa? HL Bourgeois, past HL Bourgeois, past CCA?
I think CCA.
Okay. Turtle, you are more of a Homa expert than us.
Maybe Boudreaux and Thibodeau's.
So if you go to East Park Rec Center, you're not in Homa?
No.
I'm thinking like Troop C on one side is where I'd be like, okay, now I'm in Homa. Like just mentally. You can disagree. I get it.
Yeah.
for me.
Right.
And then on the other side, I say I'm in Homa when I go to work, but I mean, according to y'all, I'm just outside of it, because it's like right off of Grand Caillou and it's almost by the Dularge Bridge. But I mean, it's Homa enough for me. There's enough Homa people there.
As soon as I get off the Intracoastal.
Where do you think the people from Homa say that they're down the bayou? At Roland's when they get off?
Call our own stuff down the bayou. So
they do have their own down the bayou.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Don't talk about my people like that.
That's not your people.
Soon you will be the ruler of that fair land. And wraps up another very good edition of the Group Chat Podcast. We thank you guys so very much for listening. We'll be back next week for Turtle and Nick and Damien. This is Casey signing off. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care. Thanks for listening.
And as always, go Tarps, and God bless America.
Welcome to the show. This the Group Chat sound. Down the bayou where the light shine proud. Go to Meadow to roast. Dibba fight.